Welcome. Yes, indeed. Welcome. Another episode. We're here again, live and in living color on the Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am so excited to be here this evening. I'm waiting for more people to enter into the live stream. You've already gotten a notification, most of you. You know what this is all about. We're going to talk about it as a boxing family this evening. I can't wait to talk about the sport and the business of boxing. If you are joining us for the first time, I welcome you this evening. This is an episode. I don't know how many episodes we've done thus far, but this right here, this right here is another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. So I welcome you if you are joining us for the first time. If you are not joining us for the first time, but you are a part of the Roll the Tape film crew, I want to say thank you for your unwavering support. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for always providing feedback in the comments section. And as always, you too, you are welcome. And also, we have trolls that might not be on here now, but I can assure you within the next 20 minutes, within the next hour or so, they will be slowly rolling in the chat and they will be slowly rolling into the live stream. And guess what? I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to kick you out because you are also welcome. If you are watching the Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty and you don't want to engage in the chat, but you want to play the background, I welcome you as well. And if you are watching to just spy on me, to take notes to see what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, so that you can build controversy around it, y'all know one thing about Manager Marty. I embrace controversy. I welcome you as well. So now that we've got that out the way and I've welcomed everybody that can participate in the chat and in the live broadcast, I welcome the chat. Salute to everyone in the chat. I see you in the chat acknowledging me, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge you back. Let me say this. I am not going to apologize for it. However, I will acknowledge this truth, in my opinion. I published like probably the worst live that I've ever done since I have been on YouTube on Tuesday night. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire replay of that live, but I really could have done better. I was not feeling good. Most of you know this, that we're here on Tuesday evening. I'm feeling very, very great today. So you're going to get all of my energy this evening. We're going to talk as a boxing family. I'm going to definitely improve from the last live I did as much as I can. This is not a competition within myself. What I'm basically saying, y'all, is I'm happy to be here tonight. I can't wait to engage with the chat. I cannot wait to engage in the comments section. If you are watching the replay of this live, I welcome you as well. And if you have a question, a comment, or even a concern, feel free. Go into the comments section below and let us have it. Let us hear it, because I love engaging. Now, as the viewership is increasing exponentially, let's start this thing off the right way. Because I want to air fry on this right from the jump. I don't want to wait and I'll be trying to, build it up, and I just want to get right into it. But before I do that, as you all know, we have to do our customary watch. What is it? Town watch. Customary town watch check-in. Our town watch check-in. We're always going to do that every live broadcast here on the Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. And if you're viewing us for the first time, or if you're watching a replay of this live and you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain it to you very briefly and very simply. The Watchtown. I've been going for a couple of days, y'all. The Town Watch, the Town Watch check-in goes something like this. We engage with one another in the chat by acknowledging where we are from or where we are located now. Where you were born and raised, where you're located now, as far as what city, what state, what country, and or island that you want to represent, and I will publicly acknowledge it. So if you were born and raised in a specific city you want me to acknowledge, if you're from a specific city or state and you want me to acknowledge, if you are from a different country and you want me to acknowledge, and if you are from or you are residing right now on an island, the Caribbeans, we want to acknowledge everybody. How I do it is very simple. I started off first, and then everyone in the chat, I need your engagement because we're going to have a good broadcast this evening. And so we're going to engage in the chat. I'm going to publicly recognize every city, state, country, or island that's in the chat right after I start the preliminaries off first. And then we're going to get right into what you all came here for, and that is to talk about the sport and the business of boxing. Now, let me explain to everybody who may just be joining us for the first time, or if you're joining us again and you don't realize why I do this, let me explain it to you right now briefly. The reason why we do Town Watch check-in on this channel, on this platform, is so that we all can have a visual in the chat. We all can experience the same exact acknowledgement, because it proves that even though we were born and raised on any side of the earth, we all share one thing in common, and that is we love the sport of boxing. So now that the chat is heating up, let me start it off so I can get back to what we do. Everybody knows this. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you, I am representing my hometown of Philadelphia, not in Mississippi, but Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, by way of the big, huge state of Texas. And with that being said, let me acknowledge Dallas, Texas is in the building. I see you. Who else is here? San Diego, California, back in the building. I see you. Who else? The Queen City is back in the building. I see you. Savannah and the ATL out there in Georgia. I see you. Just came back from Georgia about a month ago. I see you. H-Town. Come on, you know we got to represent the H. H-Town is in the building. And how can we forget? Is Brooklyn in the house? BK is in the building. We got Bull City, Durham, North Carolina here with us this evening as well. Come on, let's check on in. Come on, some of y'all already know how this thing goes. This is the bread and water part of the segment. And we got some air frying to do this evening, but I got to acknowledge where you're from. Cleveland in the building. Clinton, Maryland in the house tonight. I'm sure there's more. We have a little bit more of time because everybody wants to acknowledge you all. You might be in the chat. Somebody in the replay of this live, come on in the comments section. You are not exempt from this experience on this podcast, in the replay of the live. Come on in the comments section and just tell us. Drop it. Because I've been seeing a couple of people been dropping it. Watching the replay, they've been dropping. So I am so excited. Come on in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Where you from? Where you at? Talk to me. Blessings to you, Diana. I see you in the chat. She is a member of this channel, and she's always going to be able to get acknowledged. And I'm going to drop a link in the description of this broadcast so that you too can become a member of this channel. I am feeling extremely better, Diana. Thank you all for your prayers and your support and your thoughts all week. Mississippi, home of the greats, is in the building this evening. Who else we got in here? I'm feeling great, Byron. I'm ready to talk boxing, business, and sport. Let's have it tonight. Yes. Yes, indeed. The home of Black Wall Street is here. Tulsa, Oklahoma is in the building. We got people from all parts and all walks of life here. All over the country of the United States is here. I know we have people watching from the UK. I know we have people watching from the Philippines. I know we have people watching all over the world because my demographics show me. Philly is in the building. You already know. I get a little biased when I see my city in the chat. Okay? But I see Philly in the building. We got New Orleans in the building. Who else is here? Come on in. Come on and check in. Come on and check in. Yes, come on and check on in. Yeah, don't wait in the background. Yes, come on in. I see the viewership is slowly but surely increasing exponentially. Come on in, because I'm going to drop that link a little later on. Yeah, I'm going to drop that link in the chat. We got some boxing to talk about this evening. Come on in. We got a few more moments left in our Town Watch check-in. Come on in. Come on in. Yes, yes. Check on in. "313 in the building. What up, though? What up, though?" Chi-Town, let's go, Chicago. The Windy City is here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Come on in. Come on in. Let me do this real quick while we still checking in. Let me do this one time. Yes, indeed. Where we at with it? You know I got to show my face in the place. You know, we don't duck and dodge nobody. We show our face. Who else is here? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Check on in. We got a few more moments left. Come on in and check on in. We want to acknowledge where you're from. We want to acknowledge it. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Come on in. I know New York up in the building. Yes, indeed. Let's go. Let's go. Where we at with it? Where we at with it? See what we're going to talk about this evening. Let me see what we're going to talk about this evening. You know, we got some boxing to talk about this evening. We have some boxing that we're going to discuss this evening. Some upcoming fights, right? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, we are. We're going to talk about it tonight. Yes, indeed. Got to talk about it. I know what you came here for. You came here because of this. That's what you came here for. You want to know the same thing these two fighters on your screen want to know. Are we going to fight? That's what you want to know. I got you. We don't know. We got to talk about it as a boxing family tonight. That's right. Come on in. Come on in. I'm excited about this, y'all. I'm extremely this evening about talking about the sport of boxing, educating you all on the business of boxing. If you are joining us for the first time, you might not understand what this channel is about. I provide the business perspective of certain events that occur in the sport of boxing. I don't have to tell you if I am qualified or not, because people in the chat, my role, the Tape Film crew members, and people that have been on this panel, people that have experienced joining this channel, whether it be through live and even just watching published content, you already know that, so I don't have to even get into that. But what I do want to do is every time I see another content creator in the chat, I always take the opportunity to acknowledge the veterans that started this all before me. And I got one in the chat now. His name is Dub Right Side. Salute to you, Dub. Thank you for always coming over. I got the link coming real soon. I got the link coming real soon. I'm going to drop that link right in the chat, just in case anybody want to come on up on the panel and discuss some business and sport of boxing with me this evening. We got one more. I need one more person to drop their location. Where you from? Where you born at? Where you raised at? Where you from? So that we all can acknowledge you publicly, and I promise we're going to move on. Where you from? Talk to me. Yes, I'm trying to hide this thing. This is the bread and water. This the bread and water segment of our atmosphere tonight. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how I set it up. Y'all know how I set the play up. Warner Robins, Georgia in the building. I see you, Doug. Yes, indeed. Stockton, California in the building. We got my man Cash all the way from Alaska. He comes over every time and he shows his support. We got people all over the country in the building. We got Daytona Beach, Florida in the building. We got down south, East Coast, the Midwest, West Coast. We up north. We got, listen, Northeast. We got everybody here tonight. Yes, yes, yes. On another episode. I don't even know how many episodes we did thus far, but all I do know is that this is another episode of Roll the Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. Did you all notice something? I want to put this, I got to plug my own self in sometimes. Did you all notice that for the last couple of weeks, I've been using the word podcast? Did you all notice that? I'm doing that intentionally for a reason. If you did not notice that, even if you didn't notice me using the word podcast, did you all notice that my format has evolved? Oh, I forgot somebody. I can't do that. Hold on. Mobile, Alabama is in the house this evening. I see you. Yes, 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 yes. Did y'all notice that my format has evolved over the last few weeks? Oh, yes. I want to give you all something to look forward to. I want to be creative. I would like to engage with you all. And this is a podcast. I can't speak for other channels. I'm talking about what we do over here. This is a podcast, and there's a reason why I'm rolling it out in the format of a podcast. But the bottom line is this. I'm so happy to see y'all in the chat. I'm so happy to see everybody here in the building with us this evening. Man, we got some boxing to talk about this evening. Let's start off. Oh, Diana, thank you, Diana. That jacket, now this is an old picture of me that you see on the screen. This picture was probably like, I don't know, 2016 or something, 17. I apologize, Edward. It was Mobile, Alabama. I see you. Yeah, that was an old picture. I just wanted to throw that up. That's that Diana. That's that raccoon fur right there. Yeah. That raccoon fur. Not even going to tell you how much that coat cost me. One of the worst, one of the worst purchases that I made. Not because the coat was not a good coat, because it really was great quality. But you know how when you look back on certain purchases that you make that was very expensive, when you could have actually was like, I could have bought like 10 coats with that. Like, I didn't have to buy that coat. That's one of those things, you know. Y'all know how it is. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate the compliment on the coat, Diana. But so, okay, I got it. It was a little text message here. Okay, I got it. No problem. Okay. So where we at? Um, let me see. So right. So we're gonna talk about some boxing tonight. And the thing about it is, we have an upcoming fight. I don't want to overshadow that because it is extremely important that we discuss the upcoming fight that we have coming up next Saturday. Y'all, we're 8 days away. 8 days away from one of the biggest fights this year thus far. One of the biggest fights this year thus far, and that is between Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I don't want to overshadow this because they're 8 days away from getting it on in the ring and one of the biggest fights thus far this year. I don't want to overshadow it. Um, Before I move on, though, are you all ready? Let's get some engagement in the chat. Let's get some engagement for those that are watching the replay of this live podcast in the comment section below. What are your thoughts? We're closer now. Of course, I asked you this 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, but now that the fight is closer, and of course, we're going to touch on this a little bit later on in another week or so. But what do you all think about the fight now that it's literally like 8 days away? Do y'all still feel the same? Do you still feel different? All of the news that came out about this rehydration clause, these different things, these different concessions that were made, all is back and forth through social media, all is back and forth on Twitter between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. All of this stuff been going on for the last 6 weeks. We are about to be here. People have been talking about the pay-per-view. It's going to be expensive, all kind of stuff. What are your thoughts now that we're 8 days away from Ryan Garcia taking on Gervonta Tank Davis? Let's get some feedback real quick if we can. Come on, let's talk in the chat about that. Just real quick. We'll be moving on soon. Yes, we'll be moving on real soon. Let's get some engagement. Let's get some engagement in the chat. Yes. Yeah, let's engage in the chat real quick. Yeah, I see y'all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. 8 days. Yes. 8 days away. This is going to be, woo. Cash Crypto says Ryan is going to get folded like a transformer in 5 rounds. Wow. Wow. Yes. What else we got in the chat? People are saying Tank Davis is going to stop Ryan. We 8 days away. Y'all saw that Ryan Garcia looked like he's in tip-top shape now. So are people overlooking Ryan Garcia? I see people saying that Ryan is not dedicated. He doesn't take his career serious enough to be in his fights. I'm seeing it all. I'm seeing it all. And guess what else I'm seeing, y'all? I'm seeing the viewership increase. I don't have to say the word. Y'all already know how the viewership is increasing exponentially. Absolutely. We appreciate all of your support and viewership right now. You are on another episode, and we're going to call this episode unknown because I don't remember when I started using the word podcast, but I know it was a few weeks ago, and I know the reason why. On another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with manager Marty, I see people saying that Ryan Garcia is going to show up. He's in. Look, I've seen different videos of Ryan Garcia training. For what that's worth, he's in tip-top shape. Tank Davis, he's in tip-top shape. Both of these young men have been going on the what is that? Access, the Showtime, the Access, um, the Access broadcast, where they both was trying to act like they eating all this candy and they're not really taking this training camp serious. Yeah, we know that's just for the cameras. Absolutely, they are really taking this fight seriously. Both men. Yes, indeed. Come on, let's talk some boxing now. That's what I'm gonna do though. All access. Thank you, T Word. Thank you, thank you. I knew it was something else. Access. I appreciate that. Yes, indeed. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I see y'all in the background. Yeah, I see you. I see you watching. Yes, I do. I see you. I see you watching. You're not gonna say nothing in the chat. Yes, but I see you watching. I appreciate your viewership. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so the link expeditiously, right? Yes, quickly. So the link, I just dropped that. What's up, undercard boxing? Salute. What's good? Um, yeah. Link, the link definitely in the chat. Link definitely in the chat. Yeah, it's in there for a reason. Cause we got some business to talk about this evening as a family. Um, I know people been going back and forth with this whole ordeal, between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, and then another ordeal between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Before I get into that, salute to everybody in the chat that's acknowledging me. Thank you for your viewership and support. Let me get the super chat. Matthew Thomas, another day one supporter of the channel. Thank you for your contribution and your support. Matthew says, Hot Vegas is the place to be next Saturday. Let's get ready to rumble. Absolutely. Yes. I wonder if the prices of those tickets decreased yet, since there's 8 days to go, because those tickets, man, them tickets is we hiding Snoop Dogg in '95. You hear me? Yes, indeed. So undercard boxing says David Morrell Jr.'s opponent had to pull out. Wow, that's unfortunate for David Morrell. Where did he go from here? Might as well talk about it while we on his name. Where does David Morrell go from here? Where does he go from here? The link is in the chat, by the way. Okay. Oh, they do have a replacement. Oh, no, that's the question. The question is, do they have a replacement? Undercard says they did find a replacement. Wonder who that guy is. I'm trying to do some research on that. See who that replacement guy is, if they announced it yet. See if they announced it yet. Let's see. Let's see what's good. What's going on? Yes. Oh, they look like they do. I don't know if this is the replacement. Falco. It look like that's his name. It says Falco. A guy named Falco. I don't know who he is, but of course that's going to be on the undercard of the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Then of course Gabe Rosado in the rematch. He's going to be on that card as well. Gonna be a good card. Very, very good card. Very, very good card. Okay. All right. Let me do this again. I want to drop the link in the chat because we're about to get right into this. Um, yeah, I welcome everybody. I love doing this stuff, y'all. I love it. Family can come together. You know what I mean? Boxing family can come together. That's what this thing is all about. And it's all about learning. It's all about learning. So let's talk about this. And I'm putting the link in the chat because I want to hear your perspectives. I want to view from your lens. I want the audience to view from your lens. What do you think about this whole situation going on with Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney? We have to air fry on that this evening. Okay? We just have to. It just has to be done. We know that Devin Haney is fighting on May the 20th against Vasily Lomachenko. We know this to be a fact. Okay. We also know that Shakur Stevenson just fought last Saturday evening in his hometown at the Prudential Center in his hometown of New Jersey. We all, at this point, have heard Shakur Stevenson call out Devin Haney after that fight. Okay? So I just want to put certain things in perspective. Because one of the questions was, can Lomachenko be moved to the side so that Devin Haney can fight Shakur Stevenson? That question was asked months ago, to my understanding. I just stumbled over this video that was in my feed a few days ago. And I can't even remember the content creator's name. If y'all know, please tell me because I want to give credit where credit is due. Okay. I wasn't familiar with the name because I'm so used to like the content creators that I interact with, like on my channel or if I go on their channel. But there was a channel where it had Shakur Stevenson and it had Devin Haney and then it had Bill Haney. But it started off with, I just stumbled over this, y'all. I didn't see this until the other day. But I watched it. It was like 20-something minutes or something like that. I watched it, right? And Shakur Stevenson was talking to Bill Haney first. And then, somebody said, Big Ray. Thank you, Big Ray says H Money. All right. Salute to H Money. H Money's channel that put that up there. But it was Bill Haney and Shakur Stevenson. They were talking first. And then I think Devin had came on a little later. But I thought that was like recently. When it came on my feed and I watched it, I thought that was recent because Shakur Stevenson said something about Bill. He told Bill Haney, you're creating a false narrative by saying that it's a publicity stunt for me saying I want to fight Devin. And I thought that was new or recent because Shakur Stevenson just called Devin Haney out on last Saturday. But then I looked and it said a couple of months ago. So I was trying to, catch up the speed of what was their beef and what was going on. But Shakur Stevenson said that, and I wanted to point this out. If nobody else did, of course, you may have heard this somewhere else, from the other content creators. So salute to them that talked about this topic. But Bill Haney never answered that question, though. He never made a rebuttal on that. Not in that video that I saw. When Shakur Stevenson said to Bill Haney, why are you putting out a false narrative saying that it's a publicity stunt when y'all know how I get down? Y'all know I want the smoke and y'all know what I come to do in the ring. And Bill Haney never, ever denied that he said that. nor did he deny that he's putting a false narrative up, nor did he hold Shakur Stevenson accountable for presenting that to him. I thought that was interesting. Another thing I thought was interesting, and I'm referring to that video that the guy Ray on the chat just said that H Money put up between Shakur Stevenson and Bill Haney before Devin Haney got on to the FaceTime or whatever. So that's number one that I thought was interesting. And Bill Haney did not rebuttal that. He didn't rebuttal it. When Shakur pressed him on that, I was expecting a rebuttal, and he didn't. Second thing I noticed, this is my observation now. We're talking about the business of boxing. That's the perspective that I'm giving. The second thing I noticed, that Shakur Stevenson made a reference to fighting Devin Haney, and Bill Haney said, out of his mouth, his words, not mine. He said, we can move Lomachenko out the way and maybe we can fight. Meaning Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Meaning that even though it was agreed upon for Devin Haney to fight Lomachenko, he could be somehow moved out the way in exchange for fighting Shakur Stevenson. The third thing that I recognized in that video, and I observed this, that Bill Haney kept telling Shakur Stevenson, he kept telling Shakur Stevenson, talk to your people. Tell your people. And then we can make it happen. And the reason why I observed that, because I was expecting Bill Haney to say, I'm going to call your people. You can tell your people you want to fight Devin, that's cool, but I'm going to call your people. Why am I saying your people? Because we all know that Shakur Stevenson has representation. And y'all that knows me on this channel, you all that have joined this podcast on a panel, you all that have commented in the comment section below, you all that are the part of the Roll the Tape film crew member, know that I always talk about boxing representation and how priceless it is to have it. And we already know that Shakur Stevenson has representation. He has a boxing manager named Jay Prince, and we all know that. So I was expecting, instead of Bill Haney to say, yo, tell your people, instead of him saying that, I was expecting him to say, I'm going to call your people. I'm going to represent my son, Devin Haney, like I've always been doing. And on behalf of my representation of my son, I'm going to call your representation and Jay Prince. And I did not hear Bill Haney say that. I did hear Bill Haney talk about in another video that he talked to Bob and all this stuff. To me, from one manager to another, that doesn't mean anything. You want to know why? Because even if Bob Arum said, okay, let's set up something with Shakur Stevenson fight Devin Haney, and Lomachenko moves out the way, it still must be approved and consented and acknowledged by Shakur Stevenson's representation, which is Jay Prince. NHA2 asked the question, how do you know Bill ain't called or plan on calling Jay Prince? Well, I didn't say he didn't call Jay Prince. I didn't say he wasn't planning on calling Jay Prince. I'm saying that when Shakur Stevenson was pressing Bill Haney, he never said he was going to call Jay Prince. He never said he was planning on calling Jay Prince, nor did he say, I called your representation Jay Prince already. He didn't say that. He told Shakur, you go talk to them. Talk to your side. And guess what Shakur Stevenson said? And I got a lot of respect for Shakur for saying this. He said, we can go to the representation together. Y'all got to respect that. If you say we got to talk to Bob Arum so this Lomachenko fight can be stepped aside for me to fight Devin Haney, we can go to Bob Arum together. We can go to Jay Prince together. We can go at the same time. That's facts. I wasn't expecting Bill Haney to stand down when Shakur Stevenson pressed him from a business standpoint. Now, why is this fight happening between Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko? I published a video, me and D-Town Boxing. Salute to D-Town Boxing. We published the video. I published it on my channel. I think it was sometime last week. And I talked about the 3-fight deal. Some of y'all remember that? I want to make sure the chat is engaging right now. Do some of y'all remember that? When I published that video about how 3-fight deals work? I think that was last week. I think. Me and D-Town Boxing. D-Town Boxing was asking me a question about it, and I broke it down. I think that was last week. If it wasn't last week, it was early this week, but I believe it was last week. Thank you, Big Ray. I appreciate that. So, and I stand by this. That 3-fight deal between Devin Haney and Top Rank was already solidified because Bob Arum told them exactly the 3 fights that they were going to have under the Top Rank banner. And they also told them how much they would get paid in total for all 3 of those fights. So from a business perspective, let's keep this very simple so we all can be on the same page as a family. Let's keep it simple. If that is the case on what I said, link is in the chat too. If that is the case, what I just said, that Devin Haney and them knew the 3 fights that they were going to have when they signed that deal with Top Rank. And they already knew Lomachenko was on that list. They already knew that already. So if that was the case, then why did Bill Haney tell Shakur Stevenson that they can move Lomachenko to the side? We need answers. Why would he tell Shakur Stevenson, we can move Lomachenko to the side if you want that smoke, or if you want to fight Devin? When they already signed the 3-fight deal before that, and Lomachenko was on that list. That's the question I just be asking questions like that, understanding how the business works. This is not a shot at nobody, but I'm also not going to qualify what I'm saying by having all of these pre-references or preferences. Let me be clear on that. Now I will put my glasses on for this because I need to see the chat on this. Cash Crypto, stay right there because we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with that, Cash. In our community, if you don't represent the community that I'm referring to, this doesn't apply to you. But I wanted to share this because I've been really thinking about this for a long time since I've been on the YouTube platform as a quote-unquote content creator, right? And the community I'm referring to is the African American community. This is exclusive to us, to our community. I want to encourage somebody tonight. It's very important. We don't have to tell each other whether we agree or not about something because it is okay. We don't have to agree on everything. Right? Okay, that's number one. Also, we don't have to keep telling people respectfully when we say something that we think they're going to disagree with. Also, we don't have to qualify and preface our statement by saying, I rock with you, but you my homie, but we homegirls and homeboys, but I got a lot of love and respect for you, but we don't have to do that. All we got to do is just keep it 100 and just talk. We don't have to do all that prefaces. Whether the person agree with us or disagree with us, we all have a right to our perspective. So I don't want to qualify, and I will not qualify by saying I like this person, but it's not about like, it's not about respect, it's not about none of that. I respect everybody. It's not about none of that. It's not about agreeing and disagreeing. I'm just laying down the facts, and I'm doing it from a business perspective so that we all can be on the same page. Also, I want to say this as well, because this is also as equally as important. I noticed this too, y'all. Excuse me. We keep on, I'm not including myself, I'm saying we, because we are a boxing community on YouTube. We have a habit on YouTube. We have a habit on YouTube. Whether fans, whether subscribers, whether viewers, we have a habit that needs to be broken on YouTube. I'm just giving observation now. That when we like somebody, whether it be a fighter, whether it be a promoter, whether it be a representative of the business of boxing, we start to become biased for that person. I'm not criticizing you all. I'm glad that we're all fans of boxing. I'm not coming down on anyone. I'm just trying to talk about a specific thing that I don't think no one has talked about yet. And if they did, salute to them. But I'm just telling you what I've been thinking about these last couple of days. We have that habit of when we like somebody, we'll become biased. Even if they did something that was questionable, even if they said something that was questionable, as fans, we just become biased. I'm going to give an example based on my observation. Somebody in the chat said it, that Bill Haney said that he's the boss, or he's his own boss, or Devin is his own boss, right? We've heard him say that. We've heard him say that. And I agree with the statement that Bill Haney and Devin are their own bosses. I wanted to point something out, though. And I need everybody in the chat to engage with me so that we all can be on the same page. Do you all recall in November of 2022 when Terence Bud Crawford said he was his own boss? Yes or no? I need engagement in the chat. If you're watching the replay of this live, I welcome you. Go into the comment section below and you can engage as well. Do you all remember when Terence Bud Crawford in November of 2022 said that he was his own boss? You all remember that? I got 3 or 4 people that said yes. 5 people said yes. I know there's more people in the chat. Let's engage. We're talking. We're having a family barbecue now. We air frying tonight. I just want to point some facts out. So I have 5 people that said, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's 5 people that said that they recall Terence Buck Crawford saying that he was his own boss. Y'all remember that, right? 5 people. Any more in the chat? Let's engage tonight. Link is in the chat as well. Let's engage tonight. Do you all remember? I just need some more answers. I want us to be on the same page here so we can engage. Do you all remember when Terence Bud Crawford said on his Instagram Live that he published in November of 2022 that he was his own boss? You all recall that? I need one more answer. Can I get at least one? I saw the chat was engaging about other things, but we're on this topic right now. Can I get at least one more person in the chat? I just want to make sure we all on the same page. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing. I'm trying to prove a point here. Nobody wants to engage in the chat? Fine, we're going to move on. So, Terence Buck Crawford did say, I'm my own boss. They were his words, not mine. And thank you for everybody else in the chat that actually responded. I appreciate it. He said, I'm my own boss. Even if you didn't go in the chat, you probably have heard him say that. Do you know, I have another question about that. When Terence Crawford said he was his own boss, yes or no now, when Terence Bud Crawford says, I'm my own boss, Spence is not, he got to answer to this person, that person, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Omega, I see you. Thank you, Skits, I see you. Do y'all remember when Terence Bud Crawford was criticized by saying, I'm my own boss? Yes or no? In the chat. Let's talk about it right now. Do y'all remember that? When Terence Bud Crawford said, I'm my own boss. Yeah, Spence not his own boss. He's got to answer to Al Heyman and blah, 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 blah. Do you remember that he was being criticized on YouTube by saying he was his own boss? And you can include me in the criticism if you want. And I've already given my reasons why I criticize Bud on my channel, on published content that's in my content, okay? Somebody said he was laughed at, not criticized. Some people said yes. He did say that. So, we all on the same page that Crawford was being criticized when he said he was his own boss. Now, I have another question. Why was Terence Bud Crawford being criticized on YouTube when he said he was his own boss? In the chat, if you're watching the replay of this live, you can engage as well in the comment section below. Why, let me ask it again now, why was Terence Bud Crawford being criticized for saying he was his own boss? Okay, Cash Crypto, I see you. Diana, I see you. That's the answer I wanted to see. Right here. His decisions, I see that. His movement, I see that. Saying you're your own boss while actively looking for a boss, I see that. Okay? Some people criticized him and some agreed. I see that. Okay? Come on now. Let's get on the same page as family now. Let me do this too. We've been on this segment for almost an hour. And I know somebody want to be a blessing to the channel to support. I got to make sure I do that. Now, what else we got? Brock says his hand was out. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's use this one that's on your screen right now. Big Ray says because certain names didn't come up. Y'all see that? Because certain names didn't come up. He was getting criticized. I'm referring to Terence Crawford. Now, stay with me. Terence Crawford said he was his own boss. Everybody in the chat agreed with that. Terence Crawford was being criticized for saying he was his own boss. Most of you agree with that as well. And I asked the question, why was he being criticized? And I've heard 5 or 6 great answers. The one that stuck out to me the most is the one that you see on your screen right now. Is because certain names did not come up. Now, keep that point because I'm going to tie this in to the observation that I have, and we can't be biased. Well, we can, but I would recommend that we don't. In the chat, yes or no? Did you hear Bill Haney say that we're our own bosses? Did any one of you hear Bill Haney ever say that? Whether it be recently, whether it be in the past, period. I got one person that said yes. Anyone else heard Bill Haney himself say we're our own bosses? It's just a yes or no question. It's 4 yeses. Anybody else? Okay, great. So I have a question then. Did you hear Bill Haney say when he was asked about Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney fighting Shakur Stevenson? I forgot what channel this was on as well. This was also in my news feed this week. Not news feed. YouTube feed. Excuse me. YouTube feed. I'm gonna find out who that content creator is because I want them to get credit. I want to acknowledge them. He was asked, why didn't, I'm paraphrasing, why didn't y'all fight Shakur Stevenson instead of Lomachenko? And Bill Haney said that this is what he said. He said, and I could be paraphrasing this as well. He said, they didn't bring those names to the table. Did anyone hear Bill Haney say that? Yes or no? Did y'all hear Bill Haney say that they didn't bring Shakur's name to the table? It's just a yes or no question. Somebody said yes. Salute to you, Knockout Boxing TV. Excuse me, I messed his name up. I apologize, Knockout. That's my boy right there. I like his channel and his content. Salute. I'm sorry. Knockout Boxing 86 TV. I apologize, Knockout. Appreciate you joining, Knockout. So did anyone here? Okay, I got 3 years. I'm going to repeat the question again so we all can be on the same page because we have the viewership increasing exponentially. So that means we have new people joining us right now. I'm going to bring it all back around because I don't want nobody to miss nothing because we all agreed that we won't be biased, okay? Did anyone hear Bill Haney say after being asked, I forgot what channel that was, about fighting Shakur Stevenson instead of Lomachenko, and he said because Shakur's name didn't come to the table. They didn't bring his name up to the table. Did anybody hear that? Did anybody hear Bill Haney say that? Just a yes or no. Okay, several people said yes, they heard. So, somebody said no. Okay, great. So I have a question. Daniel McKenzie, thank you for your contribution to the channel. Daniel McKenzie says H Money channel. Thank you again, Daniel, because I think a guy named Ray told me H Money, but I thought one video was H Money, and then I can't remember the other channel. I thought it was another channel that I was trying to find this earlier before I came on here so I can roll the tape. So I apologize, I couldn't find it. And that's because I did. So it was H Money. Okay, H Money. All right. So if that is the case, if you're just joining in, right? Let me bring it all back around because I got a last question on that Bill Haney situation. Because we agreed that we can't be biased. We agreed to that. Now, let me bring it all the way back for the new viewers that just came in. I want to make sure I show my face as well. Because, you know, it's all about being controversial sometimes. These topics get controversial. You ain't got to do no avatar, no thumbnail. Put my face out there. Now, let's get into this. I asked everybody, if you're just joining us, I'm trying to bring it all the way back around so we all can be on the same page to understand the point that I'm illustrating from a business perspective. I asked the people, did Terence Bud Crawford say that he was his own boss? Did you hear it? People in the chat said yes. They heard Terence Bud Crawford say that in November on Instagram Live, November of 2022. Right? Right? Oh, there it is. Got him. I'm going to bring it back. Claude. I see you, Claude. Oh, okay. Everything Boxing. Salute. All right. Everything Boxing said he said it on my channel. Okay. So he said something on Everything Boxing channel. I don't know. What did he say? Get everything? Oh, he driving. Damn, Everything Boxing driving. I'm going to have to go back on that to see what he, because Everything Boxing just said, I've been driving, listening. He said it on my channel. I'm not sure if he's saying that he's his own boss on your channel, everything, or if he said something else. But the guy, Claude, said champ sides. Champ sides. So salute to Everything Boxing and salute to champ sides. Okay? Okay? He said something about champ sides. All right? I'm going to find that champ sides thing. But what it is, let me bring it back. I don't want to get distraction. Because it's all thought-provoking now. Y'all know what I do. Now, Terence Bud Crawford said he was his own boss. I asked y'all in the chat, do you remember that? On November of 2022 on his Instagram Live, you all said yes. Most of you said yes. Y'all remember that. I asked you all then, my next question, was Terence Bud Crawford being criticized on YouTube for saying he was his own boss? Most of you said yes, he was. I specifically asked, why was Terence Bud Crawford being criticized? I asked, why was he being criticized? And I heard about 5 or 6 really, really good answers, really, really good responses. But the one that caught my attention the most is the point that I was basically going to drive home. And I'm about to find it because a guy named Ray, Big Ray, that is, he said it, and I'm going to try to find it so I can repost that again because I want us to stay on that point for that reason. Okay, here we go. I found it. Bam. And this is one of the reasons why Terence Bud Crawford, one of the 5 or 6 reasons I saw in the chat of why Terence Bud Crawford was being criticized for saying he was his own boss. And it was because, thank you, Big Ray, you basically illustrated my point for me. Certain names didn't come up. Now, remember when Terence Bud Crawford said, people keep asking me, why didn't I fight or say I wanted to fight Virgil Ortiz? And why didn't I say I wanted to fight Jerron Boots Ennis? He said those names never came up. Right? Okay. Now, I asked you all, do you all recall Bill Haney saying he was his own boss, or Devin was his own boss, or they're their own bosses? And most of you said yes. right? Okay. Now, the second question that I have. Since Big Ray said, Crawford said certain names didn't come up. Do y'all remember Bill Haney? I just asked this a few minutes ago. I'm asking it again for the new viewers. Did y'all remember Bill Haney saying about fighting Shakur Stevenson? He said that Shakur's name didn't come up. They didn't bring his, quote unquote, they didn't bring his name to the table. Did any of y'all hear Bill Haney say that? Yes or no? I'm just asking a question. Just yes or no. Anybody can just comment in the chat. Yes or no? Did anyone hear Bill Haney say that? Okay, Big Ray says yes. Anybody else? Anyone else? Okay, Cash. I think Cash said yes. Joshua Rowley said yes. Okay. So, if Terence Crawford, and I was one of the ones that criticized Crawford. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. About him saying he is his own boss and Spence is not because he has representation. Right? Okay. Now, he was being criticized because he said certain names didn't come up. Bill Haney said they're their own bosses, and he said Shakur Stevenson's name never came up, or quote unquote his name didn't come to the table. Right? Okay. So the question becomes, why isn't certain people criticizing Bill Haney the same way Terence Crawford was being criticized? When Terence Crawford said he was his own boss, Terence Crawford was being criticized. And I was one of the ones that did. And I gave you reasons why. It's already published on my channel. When he said he was his own boss. Right? Okay. Big Ray says because he said there were certain names that didn't come up, which is why people were criticizing. So my question is, why wasn't Bill Haney criticized since he's his own boss, since Devin is his own boss, since they're their own bosses, when he said Shakur Stevenson's name didn't come to the table? He never was. I didn't hear nobody criticize, and I'm not encouraging people to criticize him, not by any means. I'm trying to prove a point that we can't keep being biased. We can't keep being biased. This don't have nothing to do with other content creators. I'm talking about everybody, fans included. We can't be biased. That's facts. Because I keep hearing people say facts over feelings. I've heard that since I've been on YouTube for 6 months. Facts over feelings, facts over feelings, facts over feelings. But you know what I keep seeing though? Fighters over facts. I hear people say facts over feelings, but what I've been observing in 6 months is fighters over facts. So all the biasness must stop. I'm not encouraging people to criticize Bill Haney. My point is that the same energy that people gave, including myself, Terence Crawford, for saying he's his own boss, because there were names that he claimed didn't come up, it's the same thing that Bill Haney said when he said they're their own bosses, him and his son Devin, and he said Shakur's name didn't come to the table. That's facts. I'm not talking about, I see somebody saying biased channels. I'm not talking about content creators. This is not a controversial topic. This is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the jury, members of the Roll to Take film crew. The illustration that I'm presenting has nothing to do with content creating. Listen and hear me good. What I'm basically saying is when you are your own boss, you don't have to wait for a name to drop or come up. You know why? Because when the fighter has representation, all you got to do is this right here. Pick up that phone. You be the one as the manager or promoter or matchmaker to take the initiative to make the call. You ain't got to wait for the call when you're the boss. It's the same thing I said about Crawford. Crawford was being criticized. People were grinding him up. And it should be the same energy towards Bill Haney. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because Shakur Stevenson called out Devin Haney. And months ago, he pressed Bill Haney. That young boy pressed him. This is not an inciting of a riot. This is facts. Young boy Shakur pressed Bill Haney on that video I saw a few days ago. He said, you were saying that there's a publicity stunt by me saying I want to fight Devin. We had conversations privately, Shakur said. I never went to the media and publicized it, but you did, Bill. And Bill Haney never rebutted that. That's facts. He never rebutted that. He said to Shakur, go talk to your people. He didn't say, I called Jay Prince. He didn't say, I'm planning on calling Jay Prince. See, it's different if Shakur Stevenson didn't have boxing representation. See, my point is not about whether it was a publicity stunt or not. That's not my point. It probably was a publicity stunt. That's not my point. My point is that when a fighter has boxing representation, they're very accessible. So the fighter shouldn't be told, yo, you go over there and you holler at your people. No, if I'm the boss, if I'm a manager, I'm a promoter, or I'm representing the fight, I'm calling the people for you. And Shakur Stevenson said, yo, we can go together. That's how business works over here. So we can't be biased now. It's not fighters over facts. And if it's facts over feelings, the feelings have to be exited out the back door and let the facts enter into the front door. Now, to my point that I made earlier, to the new audience. The Haneys knew when they signed on the dotted line on the 3-fight deal, they knew who the 3 fights were going to be against, and they knew how much money they were going to be paid for those 3 fights. And Vasily Lomachenko's name was in those 3 fights. That's a fact. That's how 3-fight deals work. I've said it on my channel. I said it when I linked up with Detail on Boxing and he asked me about it, and I'm saying it right now, live and living color. So with that being said, the point that I'm bringing it up is because Shakur Stevenson himself said, so you're saying y'all can move Lomachenko out the way to fight me? He said that on either Everything Boxing's channel, H Boxing's channel, and Champ Size. There it is. Champ Size channel. It's one of them 3 channels. We said that it was Shakur Stevenson was FaceTiming him or something like that. And then Devin had came on later on. I just saw that video literally earlier this week, and I thought that was recent video because Shakur said publicity. He used the word publicity stunt. I thought that was recent, but to my understanding, it was months ago when I seen that. That was months ago. I didn't even know that. So that's why I'm bringing this up about there is no bias. And my 4th point, I didn't never hear nobody say, we want Shakur next. I'm going to get on the point whether I think he should fight, Devin should fight Shakur next or not. I'm going to get on that point. But I wanted to address the foundation of this first. I haven't heard Bill Haney say, we want Shakur Stevenson next. I didn't hear that. I was surprised because I didn't hear that. I've heard Bill Haney say a lot of things about Tank Davis before the Shakur Stevenson fight. A week before that fight, 2 weeks before that fight, he was saying a lot about Tank and Tank's mother as well. I've heard that. I've seen that. My point is, when it was time to say, the time to say that is, yo, even if you know the fight's not next, we want Shakur next. Because he called us out. It's no different than when Bill Haney was saying that Devin Haney was calling Lomachenko out. Remember that? Because I remember that a while ago. He kept saying, yo, we want, we've been waiting all this time for you, Lomachenko. At the press conference, he said something about that. I could be, paraphrasing, but he was saying, we've been waiting for a long time, hunting you down basically for this fight with you, Lomachenko. That's what they said. Okay, well, Shakur said, I want Devin Haney next. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because Terence Crawford was criticized by me as well, that when he was in his hometown, he didn't say, when he was asked about who was next, he didn't say Spence. When Spence was in his hometown, he said Terence Crawford next. That's a fact. When Danny Garcia was in Philadelphia in his hometown and Keith Thurman jumped in the ring, he said Keith Thurman was next. And Shakur Stevenson was in his hometown in New Jersey last weekend at the Prudential Center, and he said, I want Devin Haney next. Now, let's move right along. From a business standpoint, we've heard every last one of these guys talk trash about each other. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, they all done said something about each other on social media. And so at some point, hopefully all three of them do get an opportunity to fight from a business standpoint, right? Now, the true test is going to be after Tank Davis fight Ryan Garcia, whoever wins that fight, and after Devin Haney fights Lomachenko and whoever wins that fight. The true test is going to be what happens next from all three of those fighters, including Shakur Stevenson. Now, projection has it that Tank's going to beat Ryan Garcia. Projection has it is that Devin Haney's going to beat Lomachenko. All I know is two of them better get in the ring next. If Devin Haney beat Lomachenko, either he's going to go see Shakur or get in the ring with Tank. If Tank beat Ryan Garcia, either he's going to see Devin or he's going to get in the ring with Shakur. Shakur already won, so he's just waiting for those two. That's just how that's supposed to be going down. Now, from a business standpoint, we know that Devin Haney should fight Tank before he fight Shakur. Number one reason why Shakur just got to the 135-pound division. Reason number two is because Tank and Devin been going at it for a while now. And number three, which is number one from a business perspective, is that's the biggest money fight. Devin Haney will make more money fighting Tank than he would fighting Shakur Stevenson, and that's a fact. The thing about it is, it's not about who loses. You see, I was talking to a friend of mine last week, right? And I wanted to provide this educational perspective. American fans are the hardest fans to please in boxing. Why? Because American fans will salute you, will give you credit, would even hate on you sometimes, even when you're undefeated. But the moment you lose, The American fan base, I'm talking about in general, generally speaking, they push the undefeated fighter to the side because they lost one fight and then move on to something else. That is the culture of the American fan base in this country. Where other countries, they don't care if you win, lose, or draw. They still going to go to your next fight. A fighter from Mexico can be 5 wins and 20 losses, and they're going to celebrate him, support, buy a ticket, pay-per-view, and whatever else they do to support the fighter to show their support to their countrymen. American fan base don't do that. Not just the Mexican fan base, other fan base that are outside of the United States. That's fact. What am I bringing that up for? Because even if Tank loses, even if Ryan Garcia loses, even if Shakur Stevenson loses, even if Devin Haney loses just once, they're still good fighters and champions, and they should get the respect and credit that they deserve. All 4 of those guys. Some of them might be more talented than others. Some might have more power than others. But the bottom line is these fighters have sacrificed their lives to get to where they are today. And all 4 of them have done a great job getting there. So it doesn't matter if they lose. We still should embrace them and respect them as our fighters and champions. So it doesn't, because you know why? When you're fighting someone who is good as a fighter, and if you're fighting someone who's better than you and you lose, that shouldn't be a penalty from the fan base of boxing. That's not a penalty. Why is that a penalty? Now, from a business standpoint, of course, sometimes you have to get in the back of the line and you can work your way up. It depends on having good representation, like I always say on this channel. Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, and Duran, all 4 of them, good fighters. If they lost to each other, it's because they lost to a good fighter. So it's no different between Stevenson, Haney, Davis, and Garcia. They're all fighting each other, and only one man can win if it's not a draw. And that's how simple it should be, and they still should get the support from the American fan base, even if they lose just one fight, y'all. If Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence will only have 1 loss. If Errol Spence beat Bud Crawford, Bud only gonna have 1 loss. 1 loss, y'all. Out of all of the wins, 1 loss. Come on. So I'm just saying we have to put this in proper business perspective. Even if you say, well, Keyshawn Davis should fight Frank Martin. If they fight each other and one of them has to lose, they're only going to suffer just 1 loss. Just 1 loss. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This is not a criticism to nobody, but I'm going to speak the truth. And I'm going to speak the truth in love. And I'm going to do it from a business perspective like I always do. And so the bottom line is this. Link is in the chat too, though, by the way. Thank you for your viewership. I see the numbers increasing exponentially. The bottom line is this. We have to support our fighters. If they only lose 1 time, they shouldn't be treated and penalized like, yo, we don't care about them no more. They got 1 loss. We don't care. Okay, bye. We on to the next one. No, when you lose to a good fighter, that's a good thing. See, I told D-Town Boxing on his channel. Come on back on in, D-Town. Come on back on in. I see you. I told D-Town Boxing, either on his channel or when we were together, there's nothing wrong with losing a fight as long as you win a fan. Winning is important now. Winning a fight in this business is extremely important. I am not undermining that. And I'm not discrediting wins. What I'm saying is, even in a loss, even if a fighter loses a fight, they can still win a fan because the fan provide the funds. Okay? It's still a business at the end of the day. So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. So I wanted to give that perspective so that we all can be on the same page. Facts. I know we keep hearing facts over feelings, but I keep seeing fighters over facts. That's just my observation. D-Town Boxing, what's good, brother?
What's going on, my brother?
I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
I don't know if you were able to catch some of what we were talking about. I was asking the viewership, did they ever hear Terence Buck Crawford say that he was his own boss? They said yes. I said, was Terence Buck Crawford criticized on YouTube for saying he was his own boss? They said yes. I even, acknowledged that I criticized him for saying it too, and I told people why on my channel, previous published content. The next question was, why was Terence Buck Crawford criticized for saying he was his own boss? 5 or 6 people had great answers in the chat, but one of the answers from Big Ray says because he said their names never came up. And I was about to, that was basically the point that I was driving home, because I asked people in the chat, in the viewership, did they hear Bill Haney ever say, we are our own bosses, referring to himself and Devin Haney, his son? People in the chat said yes. I asked the people in the chat in the viewership, did you hear Bill Haney on, I don't know if it was Everything Boxing's channel, Champ Sides channel, H channel, right? And did y'all hear him say that Shakur Stevenson's name didn't come to the table? And some people in the chat said, yes, they heard him say that. So my question was, then why wasn't Bill Haney being criticized for saying the same thing that Terence Buck Crawford said when he said that Shakur's name never came to the table? And I said, as a boxing manager, you don't have to wait for nobody's name to come up nowhere. When you're your own boss and when you're representing you ain't got to wait till you pick up the phone and you can initiate the call and you can make it happen. Did you hear any of that, D-Town? I wasn't sure if you was in the background or if you heard any of that.
No, I didn't hear anything. Well, actually, I just got on. My phone was charging, so I didn't get to hear anything. And I actually just got my phone off the charger and came into your chat. So
okay.
I guess some of the things that you're saying, I guess is probably new to me. So, if it is true, then that's what they do. They criticize certain people and they don't criticize others.
Yeah, we got to keep it. We got to keep it all the way 100.
Yeah.
We got to keep it real. I always say we got to deal with what's real. And I also said this, that I'm not trying to encourage people to criticize Bill Haney. This is not an attack on Bill Haney. I'm just saying, though, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We can't keep having this selective anger or selective outrage when we want to do quote unquote facts over feelings. Because it's either facts over feelings or it's either fighters or facts. You can't have it both ways.
Exactly. But it's hard to tell people that because they don't care. They just gonna assume or think or feel however they want. They're gonna point the finger at certain fighters and they gonna pull back their fingers on certain fighters. So I mean, we've been seeing that for a very long time. So I mean, just like the Bible says, nothing new up under the sun. So I mean, you could tell them all day, just like we've been saying stuff to certain fans all day, but most of the time it just going one ear and out the other.
Right. Well, let me ask you this question, Detail. Since I have you on here, um, did you see or hear Bill Haney say something about when he had that conversation with Shakur Stevenson, when Shakur was kind of like pressing him on that publicity stunt statement and all that stuff? Did you hear or see that?
Yes, I did.
What was your observation of what you saw in that video?
I feel like that Devin Haney was backtracking and some of the things that he said, he didn't answer when Shakur asked him, and I guess he didn't keep that same energy, that he had when he was talking in front of the camera when Shakur Stevenson was not there. So when Shakur Stevenson actually got on the live with him, his whole energy changed, and I mean it was a whole bunch of a whole bunch of Shakur Stevenson. Yes, you're a great fighter, and this and that and that, but it didn't line up with the things that he actually said when Shakur Stevenson. Well, when he was in an interview with somebody else, it wasn't the same energy. You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, I think that if little old Shakur Stevenson was able to confront him and to make him backtrack on some of the things that he said, then that just tells me a whole lot, about Devin Haney. I'm not saying that he's not a stand-up guy. I'm not saying that he's not a great father or anything like that. But me personally, I think that people need to kind of watch out what they say because in the sport of boxing, you're going to meet up with certain people, especially when you say things about them. And if you can't say it in front of them, then it's best not to say it at all.
So you keep saying Devin Haney, but you said father. Are you referring to Bill Haney?
Yes, yeah, Bill Haney. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Haney.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. And I thought that video, I don't know if you heard me say this, but I thought that when I was watching that video, that was from like this week because Shakur just called out Devin Haney in the ring last Saturday. So I thought that little FaceTime that he was doing was recent, but I realized that was months ago, that video. So, I was just trying to bring it all in so that we all can be on the same page as a boxing family. And I also referenced this detail. You were asking about the 3-fight deal. Remember, we got together, we linked up, and I was giving the fans and viewership the same perspective that I gave you when we linked up about the 3-fight deal, that Devin and Bill Haney knew that one of the 3 fights that they were going to fight when Top Rank offered them the contract with the money was Lomachenko. So when Shakur Stevenson was saying on that FaceTime, oh, okay, you can move Lomachenko out the way and fight me? Let's do it. There's no way that could have happened. So that was a little mind game that was played because we already knew that couldn't happen, for them to move, move Lomachenko out the way when that fight was already etched in stone in the beginning for him to fight Shakur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that, like you said, that they already knew that the 3-fight deal that Devin Haney was going to fight Kambosos twice, and then he was going to fight Lomachenko after that. So I don't think that whatever he had told Shakur Stevenson about able to move Lomachenko out the way, that was not true because, like you said, that they already knew who the 3 fighters were going to be. And it was going to be 2 fights with Kambosos and 1 fight with Lomachenko.
Right. Excellent point. And this whole thing, just will have to be settled in the ring, detail between all of these guys. It don't matter who fight next, long as all three of them fight. Because at this point, Tank is going to have to fight Shakur. At this point, Tank is going to have to fight Devin and vice versa. It's just time to get it on. I had a quick question for you, D-Town. People were in the chat talking about Devin Haney moving up to 140 after he fights Lomachenko on May 20th. What is your take on Devin Haney moving up to 140 to fight, after he fights Lomachenko?
Well, I think that if he wants to fight the best, then he needs to stay at 135 and fight after he beat Lomachenko, he need to fight Shakur Stevenson. Since he was called out by Shakur Stevenson, and ain't Shakur Stevenson is a mandatory for him or no?
You know what? I was going to touch on that as well. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't seen. I've heard people say that the WBC mandated Shakur Stevenson to fight Devin Haney after the Lomachenko fight, but I don't know the point of reference on that. I haven't seen anything or heard anything about that to be accurate. Is there any reference that I could use to be able to pull it up or actually see when did the WBC say that?
As it stands right now, I haven't pulled anything up to see if he was a mandatory Shakur Stevenson, but I think the only thing I heard is when Shakur Stevenson had talked to Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson said that he thought, by him being, was supposed to be the mandatory or something like that. I think that's what I heard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he is mandated, that was a quick mandate. That was real quick right there, man.
Like I said, I don't know if he's officially the mandatory for Devin Haney, but I mean, if he is, I mean, it'll be a great fight to see. But if he's not, I still think that Devin Haney needs to fight Shakur Stevenson and do not move up after beating Lomachenko if he beats Lomachenko at 135.
Yeah. Nobody should be moving out of the 135 division. It's been too much trash talk, too much going back and forth. It's time to get in the ring at 135. All of them. I've heard people say Suleiman is doing it, but I haven't heard anything from. Maybe it's an interview that he said it in. I don't know. Maybe it was on social media. I just haven't seen it myself. And so, can somebody in the chat at least give us a reference? I'll pull it up right now because I want to make sure that if he is as mandatory, we can talk about that.
Because, I mean, even go ahead, my brother.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, you got it.
What I'm saying is, even if he is the mandatory or not, he still need Devin Haney still need to fight. He still need to fight Shakur Stevenson.
You said even if he is not the mandatory, you think he should still fight Shakur?
Yes.
Let me get this super chat, but before I do that, I was given a cash app, and I think I was giving this a little earlier when I heard the sound, but I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that person. Give me 1 second on that. There we go. Thank you, Tough Glove Boxing. Thank you, Tough Glove Boxing, for your contribution to the channel. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Daniel McKenzie. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. Daniel says, mandated for the winner only. So I'm assuming that Daniel is saying that Shakur Stevenson is mandated to fight the winner of Lomachenko and or Devin Haney. I think that's what Mr. McKenzie is saying. Appreciate your support again, Mr. McKenzie. Thank you. Um, so yeah, so that's what we want to see the best fight. I don't want to see the Teofimo versus the winner of him and Josh Taylor against Devin. I don't want to see that. I don't think the fans want to see it. The fans do want to see it. That's fine. I don't even want to talk about the winner of that at 140. All these guys are at 135 right now. All three of them should fight. Ryan Garcia at 135. Let him fight them. It's all four of those guys. Let them fight. If Ryan Garcia want to move up to 40 after this fight, whether he wins or loses against Tank, fine. Let him move up. That's cool because he, having weight trouble. But at the same time, let all four of these guys rumble. Win, lose, or draw. Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, and Devin Haney. Bottom line. That's what we need to see.
You know what I heard, brother? I did hear an interview that Bob Arum said at one point that he wanted Shakur Stevenson to fight the winner of Devin Haney and Lomachenko. And then I heard another interview later after that where Bob Arum said that he believed that Devin Haney is going to fight Josh Taylor.
No. The fans don't want to see that. We want to see when a man or a woman calls somebody out in their hometown that we want them to fight. If the biggest fight to be made is going to be the winner, let's say Tank beats Garcia and he fights Devin after that, that's great. I think that's awesome. Money, good, big money fight. But at the end of the day, right after that, winner fights Shakur. All three of them just need to fight. We don't want to see because here's the thing. This proves my point. Devin Haney and Bob Arum and Bill Haney and Bob Arum, they all under the same umbrella as Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson has representation. Jay Prince is his manager. Very, very simple to make. But because of the big money, of course, Tank Davis would be ideally the next fight for Devin Haney if both of these guys win. But bottom line is, all three of them need to fight each other, win, lose, or draw. Belts on the line, no belts on the line, big money, don't matter. All three of them need to fight each other. And that's just where I stand from a business standpoint. All of them. From a fan standpoint, from a talent standpoint, all three of those fighters are very, very talented. All of them. All three of those fighters.
You know what, brother? Since Devin Haney decided to go and fight Kambosos over there at his country twice, even in the rematch, and now he's fighting Lomachenko, won't he keep the ball rolling and keep fighting top-level fighters, and people will give him more respect if he jump in the ring with Shakur Stevenson instead of him fighting somebody we don't want to see him fight. Now, I understand that it's tough fighters back-to-back, but if he wants to be that guy and be that young guy that everybody talk about, he might as well go ahead and get in the ring with Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah. Why not? Y'all all in the same division now. Look, and then Tank did an interview. He ain't off the hook. He did an interview recently. Yeah. And he said, I'm not going to say the guy's name. We know who he was talking about because the interviewing guy, I don't know who he is, but he asked him, he said, Shakur Stevenson? He said, yeah. Yeah, he recognized that's going to be a little different. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Everybody fight. Listen, it ain't no leaving no names out. He got to fight Shakur too. Win, lose, or draw. They all got to rumble each other. But if we're going to criticize Crawford, when he was asked in his hometown, is Spence next? And like I always say, he said, we got to look at what Bill said too now. Nobody want to say we want him next. Y'all all under the same umbrella for right now. We got to keep it all the way 100 now. No more fighters over facts. No more fighters over facts.
Well, brother, we already know you gonna keep it 100, and that's the reason why people listen to you and listen to my channel and things like that, because we're gonna give the fans what they want to hear. We're not trying to give them some old, ice cream and cake and all that. We're gonna give them straight, what I'm saying, the meat and potatoes and stuff. So, you know, they all in the same division. Is no excuses. Ain't nobody need to be running. Nobody need to be running from a division to go fight somebody else, especially when the top fighters are all at 135.
That's right. And it's a lot of money over there at 135. It's not like, none of those fighters going to make no bread. They all going to get paid. All of them. No matter if Tank fight Devin, no matter if Tank fight Shakur, they're going to get paid. No matter if Devin fight Shakur or Devin fight they all going to get paid. So from a business standpoint, it's still good. From a talent and a showcase entertaining fight, from that vantage point, it's still good. Can't lose. Can't lose. Especially when all the three fighters that I just said got representation. Tank Davis got representation. Devin Haney has representation. And so does Shakur Stevenson. Isn't that what I've been saying all of the time that I've been on YouTube? Good representation is priceless. So it's not we have a situation where, like Spence has representation and then like Crawford doesn't, is an impasse. No, everybody has representation. Everybody has a mouthpiece. Everybody has a manager. Everyone they say they're their own bosses. Should be easy to get it all done. Very easy to get it done. That's my take on it.
I just want to see what happens, when the rubber meet the road, and see if somebody fuzz out. So we're not trying to hear no excuses about you can't make weight. We're not trying to hear no excuses about the money, because like people were saying that Devin Haney took less. He did all these different things. I'm sure if Shakur Stevenson want to fight Devin Haney, he'll take less or whatever he need to do. So we need to see what happened on either side about Shakur and Devin Haney and Tank Davis and all these guys. We want to see what happened, because if they was able to make the fight and take less or go to another country or whatever they had to do, then we shouldn't hear no excuses when it's time for these guys to fight.
Absolutely. No excuses, no moving up. Everybody stay right where you at and don't move. So, detail, I'm going to let everybody go. I want to just leave everybody with my new sayings going to be, because, I try to create sayings, little punchlines, entertain the people. No more fighters over facts, okay? Now, detail, we're 8 days away from Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. What's your take on it? Next Friday, we're going to come right back on here because it's going to be like the weigh-ins and all that great stuff. But what is your take on it as we're 8 days out from Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia?
You talking about what's going to happen in the fight, or you mean up to the lead up?
Both. Give us both if you can.
Well, I believe that they actually giving us a fight that we actually want to see. I'm glad to see both of those guys was able to put their differences to the side and be able to make the fight for the fans, to bless us with a great fight. And I believe that me personally, I didn't like when Ryan Garcia came out and started talking about the weight clause, because you actually signed the contract, so there's no reason for you to be crying about the weight clause. But regardless, the fight is made. I think it's going to be a competitive fight, and I think if Ryan Garcia get curly, he'll get knocked out. But I believe if Ryan Garcia can actually, keep his game plan and keep his jab out and move around the ring and win by points, he still have a chance to win. But I know that Tank Davis' skills and his abilities is way above Ryan Garcia. I'm not saying it's like a 50% above, but it's above him. And I believe that I want to see the best man win, but I'm actually going for Tank.
All right. I mean, hey, 8 days out, I'm gonna do a watch party, and I want to do it different. I got a couple of things up my sleeve. We're gonna see if we can pull it off, because I think watch parties should be entertaining, especially if we're, content creators and we're providing the watch party, and other people don't have to pay for the actual event, pay-per-view event. They can get the commentary on, the platforms on YouTube, the content creators. I think that's great, great and unique. Um, this is going to be a good fight. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I also can't wait for, the winner of Devin Haney and Lomachenko. I think Devin Haney's going to just walk Lomachenko down, me personally. It's going to be a good fight. But I definitely got Tank winning, and I definitely got Devin Haney winning. And we'll see what happens, because Shakur's left out there. And the way that Shakur's resume looks, the way that Jay Prince have been moving him, the way Brad Goodman and Top Rank have been moving him, they've been moving him in such a great way. And I wouldn't be surprised if Shakur, takes another fight within 30 days to stay sharp. I would not be surprised. If you understand this business and you look at Shakur's resume, you'll know exactly why I'm saying that. And it's just going to be a great fight for all three of those young men. Tune in live and live in color back right here on Tuesday evening. We're going to come right back here to talk about some good boxing, some good business of boxing on Tuesday night. Join us again. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your comments in the comment section below. If you're watching the replay of this live, I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate much blessings to all of you. Thank you for engaging. Thank you, Detail, for coming on the panel. As always, I want to salute and thank every content creator that has given me the opportunity to be able to reverberate this education all across YouTube by supporting me. Your viewership coming into the chat. I salute you all. I appreciate what you all do as content creators, because I'm one now. And so tune in live and live in color here with Roll the Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. Detail, every time I go off, I have to give you the opportunity, sir, from one faith to another faith in our family ship. You always give the benediction. I'm not going to stop you from doing it now. Thank you for coming again, Detail. It's all on you, family, my brother. Take us on home.
Salute to Manager Marty and to all the families that was in attendance today. Remember, family, keep God on your lips. Make sure you always pray for one another. Be a man of your word. Be a woman of your word. And keep it 100. It's D-Town Boxing. Signing out.